everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is...
All right, Larry, it's one of the new jewels of the NFL, no doubt, as you get a look inside U.S. Bank Stadium here in Minneapolis. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Minnesota Vikings. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. First down. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
I think that was a pretty good read right there. They caught him in zone defense and went to the hitch. And because they're in zone, that creates a natural space between the defenders and the receiver, able to get it to him quickly and let him get upfield.
Fighting through it. He's got space. The numbers for him from a week ago, 22 carries, 62 yards.
He's hoping to have the same type of game, but he's going up against the #1 defense in the league, and they're very good at fitting the run. So now you've got to think offensive strategy, maybe a little more play action, and try and find some people open down.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Reuben Foster coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8. Well, these sacks are really piling up. Last week, it was a half dozen sacks. And here's one on the opening drive.
And it has the potential to be what we call a gap, a game-altering play. Because, let's face it, you just mentioned 6 sacks last week. Now, if you're an offense and you saw that on tape, you've got to think to yourself, maybe I bring people in, keep them in, and try and protect my quarterback. It didn't work on that play.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. A shotgun snap for Keenum. And this is going to be incomplete.
So many offenses want to include their running backs into their passing offense and be able to swing the ball out or check it down to them. But sometimes those guys are just not as comfortable catching the ball as they are running it.
And the win last week punted 4 times as this one's away. This is taken at about the 14. A little juke. And now running right through it. 21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. On 1st down, Garoppolo. Looking middle, and that's complete. And he gets this one to midfield before he's brought down. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
2nd down, 9 yards to go. Now a handoff looking right. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 47. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down. Now that play was doomed right from the start.
They just about ran into every defender on that one, didn't he? It felt like everyone got a piece of that tackle.
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. So on now is the Clemson man, Bradley Pinion, to punt this one away. The Vikings turn up the heat, and they block it. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. And with points at an extreme premium here in a 0-0 game, that could be a big special teams play right there.
That's an advantage play. Someone create an advantage for their team, give them an opportunity, and special teams is usually a terrific starting point for that. Blocking the punt, now they've given themselves a chance, and it sees momentum.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, if the coaching staff's doing a good job upstairs, they'll file away what they just saw from the defense right there. They sold out to stop that running play. I'd say keep that in mind. They want to try that again. Good play action, hit them over the top.
Now Keenum. And Rudolph has it left side. The reception good for 7. It's third down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
On the run, Darkwa. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. Good opening quarter for him. Remember, he had the sack earlier. Now a tackle for loss, another tackle for loss.
He's really making it tough on the play caller, though, isn't he? Because it's one thing to try and adjust when a guy is disrupting your running game. But when he's messing up your passing game as well, they may have to devote at least a second guy to him to try and keep him away from their plays.
So a good kick there, and they finish off the drive with 3.
And that should be the goal for an offense. Finish each drive with points. So that's a nice job there to come away with at least something.
And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And San Francisco gets set to go here. Now they try the right side here. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I think there's one element that just keeps increasing on defense in the NFL, and that's speed. They want it at every position, and we just saw there some linebackers who can go sideline to sideline, run past that trash, go past people, and make tackles near the sidelines.
Not only near the sideline, but also in the backfield there for the loss. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, it's Garoppolo. He's got his man on the crossing route. And he's going to have a 1st down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. Fresh set of downs here. Going to give this time to the tailback. And he's going to bull his way forward to the 48. These are his numbers from last week's contest. 22 carries, 128 yards.
And when you lead the league in rushing for this stretch of time, now you take on the identity. You now lead the team, and everything runs through you in terms of offense.
And some big-time hitting going on there. He is knocked to the ground. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains. This running game's so important for them, and they know that. It helped lead them to a victory last week when he was over 100 yards.
Let's face it, it's their identity, and that's what they want to play to. They want to be that team that runs the ball.
Touchdown, 49ers! George Kittle, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Niners have taken the early lead. Robbie Gould on for the extra point.
When we draw up defenses on the board, we do account for every receiver. But on that particular play, somehow he was wide open, became an easy touchdown pass.
Gould now out to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. And out now come the Vikings. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. Here's Darkwa, and he'll get only a couple up to the 22. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down. Out of the gun, Keenum. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeForest Buckner in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
Going for the deep ball. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. And he'll give it here to his running back. And that one goes for about 6 as he's taken down just shy of the 45.
Let's talk a little football 101 here because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
On 2nd down, they'll try and run the counter. And a minimal gain here as he's up to about the 47-yard line. A 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 4. Now they'll need to convert here on 3rd and a little more than a yard.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. And he has the 1st down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the 1st. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
Don't forget about finding a lane there. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Probably fortunate he was able to hold on to the football.
Now Garoppolo throwing on 2nd. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Linval Joseph. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Buying under pressure again, and down he goes again. Everson Griffin in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone can go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
That'll be a 49-yard punt, 6 yards there on the return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, and that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
No gain that time, and it leaves them with 3rd and 11 coming up. And when you're running the football, one thing you don't want to see is a big boy coming up to swallow you whole in those D tackles and nose tackles.
No, you're actually counting on your big boys to protect you from them. But on that play, the defensive tackle had the leverage, and he won the battle. No gain, correct?
No gain.
he wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, the big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
Taken in at the 11. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. The 49ers offense making its way back out there. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team,
the Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Danielle Hunter. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Here's Garoppolo to throw. That's to the right side, complete to Kittle. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, San Francisco. George Kittle, 87 yards. And the 49ers are able to strike quickly for 6. Now he's having a nice little first half here, partner.
And it's a first half that leaves us anticipating what can still come. I mean, 2 touchdowns already here through the second quarter. There could be plenty more before this game is over.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a couple yards deep, he'll go to a knee. He won't return it. And they'll take it out to the 25. And now we move our focus to Stephon Diggs. With them losing here in the second quarter and his limited productivity so far, you'd have to think they're going to try to look to him a little bit more, right?
I would guess you would start to see maybe some quick screens, some hitches, anything to get the ball in his hands quickly and let him try and do some damage after the catch. Or maybe just flip some formations and keep him isolated where it's more of a one-on-one route and get the ball to him.
I say just 4 verts, right?
Hey, why not? 4 verts, one of the best routes in football. Hard to cover each guy all the way along the route.
So far, just 1 catch for him. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
After watching that play and result, I go back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator, Brandon, before the game and said, how are you going to move the ball running it against the #1 defense? He gave us no indication, didn't tip his hand at all, so we have to see how this unfolds as this game moves along.
And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he's got the first down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. A minute 58 to go in this first half of play. More from Minneapolis after this.
Let's go! Blue landed!
On 1st and 10, Keenum. An incomplete, crisis averted, almost picked. Instead, 2nd down.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. On 2nd and 10, Keenum. And down he goes. Keenum is sacked. DeForest Buckner. He's the one to get him, and that's sack number 7 for him on the year. On 3rd and long, it's Keenum. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. 2 yards is all they'll get on the completion. It's 4th down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Here comes Jimmy Garoppolo now to lead his offense back out there. And he's been good. 2 first-half touchdown passes, no interceptions so far.
Does a lot for your confidence. Does a great deal for your team.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Harrison Smith. And they're going to be set up in the red zone right around the 17-yard line. That reception sets them up beautifully already in the red zone.
And you can hear it all the way up here. Oski, everyone turned to block, find the spot, and now they're set up inside the red zone for their offense.
Now Keenum. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Malcolm Smith in there to get him, and that's sack number 6 for him on the year. That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now a fumble. The ball's out. And this is going to be 49er football.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll be taken down at the 18. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
Going to give this time to the tailback. And he'll go down just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Garoppolo now, first down throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter.
Detroit! Let's go!
Garoppolo, a final shot here before half. Flush to his right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. And they can't get the long connection as it falls incomplete. So we have reached halftime. Well, I know we hold off on the halftime update after all. Seems like everyone's ready to go here for the second half in Week 8 in the NFL. This is taken at his 4. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Here comes the 49ers offensive unit as they'll have it first to begin this third quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spend the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. And they're behind the sticks here a bit now, dealing with a 2nd and 12. Play action. Garoppolo. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
But no second guessing the call here. It was 3rd and long, so throwing the football was probably the smart play to try and pick it up. But they don't get it, and now the defense goes off the field feeling pretty good about themselves, gaining some momentum as they force them into a likely punting situation.
There, this punt will go out of bounds. I think it'll be inside the 25, and it will. Right at the 24-yard line is where they'll spot it. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And this is probably how it was drawn up at the half. I we can go inside the locker room, all right? And I think we would see up on the grease boards, stop them defensively, get the ball back for the offense, and let's go downfield and score. Seems simple, right? The last part, we have to find out that's going to happen. But the first part worked to perfection. Did exactly what they wanted, and now their offense has to pay it off.
See if they can get the latter 50%. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. First down and 10 now for the offensive group. Shotgun snap for Keenum. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. A gain of 6 there on first. 4 yards remaining now on second down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a big hit at the end of that one. He's knocked down hard. And after getting tackled, he's still down and looking very slow to get up. We'll check on his status when we get back. The Vikings on third down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This will be 3rd and 6.
Here we go.
From the gun, here's Keenum. He's just going to dump this one off to his fullback out of the backfield. And a broken tackle helps lead to a first down gain. It's a pickup of 15 and a fresh set of downs.
And the big guy catches the ball out of the backfield, and oftentimes it's quite a surprise to the guys playing defense because not ordinarily thought as a pass catcher, it often works when they decide to dial it up.
Let's go.
And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
He decided to run a hitch route. It really helps to have a guy who can turn it loose. And, boy, he rifled one in there on that one. Not much run after catch, but it worked really well.
The give to the fullback on the dive. Trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
After a play like that, there should be congratulations all the way around, I think, because if you can stop a big fullback like that, that's not easily done.
Yeah, he does not go down easily, you're right, but he did there. Keenum going to throw into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Reuben Foster picks it, and they are going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
Offensively, when you see cover 2, the thought has to go through the quarterback's head. Drive the football when making throws. It's not just the deep guys covering. It's the guys underneath you have to be careful of. Drive your throw. Otherwise, you see what results? Interceptions.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
On second down, here's Garoppolo. Caught left side, Garcon. The reception good for 7. It's third down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And he has the first down yardage before they bring him down right at the 45. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
I like the look that they just showed there. When you come out in a passing formation, spread things out a little bit, makes it really hard to cover the middle field, doesn't it? Because you get
rush coming, and he's taken down. Ben Gideon in from his linebacker's spot. He's able to drop him for a loss of about 10.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Got a man over the middle, and it's complete. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29. Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in, well, if you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week, you must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. I think you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle.
Opted to run for it. The decision a good one, picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
Obviously, a big play was needed, and you can see his eyes light up as he realized there's absolutely no one in front of him. And he takes off and goes a long way. Not only does he pick up a first down, but a big gain.
And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Sharif Floyd in there to drop him for his second sack now here tonight.
It's been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it's going to be third down and a ways to go here. 3rd and 14.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. And, Charles, they get the field goal. Took him a dozen plays, though.
Work with me on this one. You know what I'm about to say, right? Bend but don't break. That's what came into play here for the defense. 12 plays were run at them. They only gave up 3 points. In a lot of ways, that's a win for the defense.
Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. And he comes out on the heels of an interception he threw last time they had the ball.
Yeah, and you know, the quarterbacks that I know that are the best ones, the ones that really know how to lead their team, they tell them, that's on me. That's my bad. But let's go back out there and move ahead again, guys. We can get this done.
One good thing for him, it did only lead to 3 points and not a touchdown after that turnover.
Big thanks to the defense.
Make it now 3 tackles for a loss in this game, 1 for each quarter.
And for a guy who played defense in college, I can just tell you that he's feeling very satisfied.
Hurry up, here we go.
Keenum to throw on 2nd down. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. Solomon Thomas in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. It's a gain of 11, but they're still well short. It's 4th down.
Well, that's certainly playing down in distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Green, 30.
Now Keenum, gotta have this one. Looking for Diggs, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ahkello Witherspoon. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown. Now remember, this is the #1 defense in the National Football League. There's a good example of why.
Shows that they set an aggressive tone, not just stopping the run, not just getting after the quarterback, but the ball's in the air. They treat it like they're the receivers, and they went after that one and took it all the way.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Yeah, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily to look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. So the false start will back them up 5.
False start, offense.
Expect this from the visiting team when playing indoors, but not the home team.
They're supposed to get all the advantages, right? The home crowd's supposed to help them. They forgot where they were, perhaps.
Let's go. Green 39.
From the gun, it's Keenum. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And down he goes. Keenum is sacked. Eric Armstead in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
All right, here we go. Green.
3rd and long. It's Keenum going deep for Diggs. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Ahkello Witherspoon.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, that's a pretty good drive starter right there, and I don't know, partner, if you're even thinking about sitting on the ball right now. They may just want to run their regular offense.
In plus territory, and as an offensive coordinator, you don't want your team to go into a shell, do you?
No, you really don't, because as soon as you take your foot off the gas, it's real hard to put it back on and mash it, because once everyone's emotions come down, hard to start them up again. So I think he may want to keep them cranking high right here.
The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding. Keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Brandon, when a defense just simply can't get off the field on 3rd down, and we all know how important that down is for both sides of the ball, you often feel like you're just a step behind whatever they're doing offensively.
And one of the differences in this game, no doubt, 3rd down conversion, and that is going to be a story they'll talk about after this one.
Looks like they're establishing a pretty good pattern here because they've been very heavy in the running game on the last 4 plays.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. So far, 4 plays in this drive, all 4 on the ground. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd down.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. Was that 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight. And across the chalk into the end zone. It's a 49er touchdown. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Gold now out to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one. You got the big lead defensively. willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
False start, offense.
So pin that one on the rookie right tackle.
Remember those days when the right side was simply the run-blocking side? Now you're dealing with some of the better pass rushers in the league. It'll make you a little jittery.
Here we go.
Here's Keenum now on second down. And a big loss here as he's taken down. DeForest Buckner in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line. Aaron Lynch in there to drop him, and back-to-back sacks now bring up 4th and long. So a short drop, but he's able to get it out, and this is a good kick. He'll take it at the 42. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And to give this time to the tailback. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down.
Well, he didn't make headway on that one, but he's had plenty of carries all night long. I just wonder if maybe he's a little bit tired from toting the rock that much.
And he's going to take this one down to about the 46-yard line. 8 yards on the ground there, and now they're looking at a 3rd and 2.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
A road win in the next.